All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at the future of Kalash Udyan, and honestly, it's a massive opportunity to completely reshape where you live. Today, we're going to unpack a solid concept and a concrete action plan for self-redevelopment. One that keeps the control exactly where it belongs, right in your hands.
We've got a really clear roadmap for this. We're going to look at where the society stands right now, why the traditional developer route is honestly a bit of a trap, the sheer power of doing it yourselves, what those upgraded homes will actually look like, how to navigate the red tape, and finally, a step-by-step action plan.
So, Part 1, Kalash Udyan's current reality.
Think about the sheer scale of the community you've built over the last 3 decades. Since 1993, this massive 16,000-plus square meter property in Koparkhairane has been your home. It is a phenomenal plot of land with fantastic access from 2 major adjoining roads. To put that footprint into perspective, we're talking about 360 residential units and 10 commercial spaces across 20 different buildings. It's a huge, thriving community. But here is the real kicker. Your current floor space index, or FSI, is sitting right at 1.0. What does that mean for you? It means there is incredible, completely untapped potential here. You've got the land, and you absolutely have the right to build so much more space.
Which brings us to Part 2, the developer model trap.
Now, the so-called easy route is just handing all that potential over to a developer. But housing expert Chandrashekhar Prabhu points out a pretty harsh reality about the industry. He warns that project management consultants, PMCs, well, they often secretly act as brokers for the builders. So when they come in, their real goal isn't to get you the biggest living space possible. Actually, it's the exact opposite. They want to give you the absolute minimum area they can get away with just so the developer has way more inventory to sell for their own profit.
And here's why that is so dangerous. Under that traditional builder model, the developer has to construct a ton of new flats to sell on the open market to fund the whole thing, right? That instantly floods your community with new, unknown majorities. All of a sudden, the original residents, you, the people who literally built the society, you could easily be outvoted on maintenance, rules, the whole shebang. You seriously risk becoming a second-class citizen in the very place you used to own outright. Your agency? Gone.
So, let's flip the script. Part 3, the self-redevelopment advantage. When we compare the developer model with self-redevelopment, the difference in quality is night and day. Think about it. A builder is always going to prioritize cost efficiency. They want cheaper materials to pad their own profit margins. But when your society does the redevelopment yourselves, there's no middleman skimming off the top. You have total control to pick premium materials and demand the absolute highest execution standards. You're building a home to last, not just building to a strict budget. And the timelines? It's a totally different ballgame. A traditional developer might stall your project for years if their funding dries up or if they just decide another site is more profitable. But self-development is driven by you. When you're the ones living in rented flats, desperately waiting to get back into your brand new homes, well, the motivation to get it done fast and efficiently is off the charts. You control the schedule. Now, we are intentionally not getting bogged down in projected construction costs today. Why? Because those developer-biased PMCs absolutely love to manipulate those financial calculations just to scare you off the self-redevelopment path. The fundamental philosophy here is control. By cutting out the builder, your society keeps all the massive spatial benefits, and every single rupee of potential profit goes straight back into your own society's corpus fund. It stays with you.
Okay, Part 4. Visualizing your upgraded home.
Forget the complicated architectural math for a second, and just think about the reality of a 70% increase in your carpet area. It is absolutely massive. A standard 387 square foot 1 BHK, that turns into a really spacious 658 square foot home. A 3 BHK expands from 725 square feet to a sprawling 1,233 square feet. We're not talking about a fresh coat of paint here. This is a complete lifestyle transformation, and it's possible entirely because you are the ones in the driver's seat.
Moving on to Part 5, navigating regulations and regularization.
To actually unlock those massive upgrades, we have to tackle a bit of red tape. Before any redevelopment green lights are given, CIDCO requires the society to clear up some old administrative deviations. And honestly, it is perfectly normal for a society that has been around since 1993 to have a bit of historical paperwork housekeeping to take care of.
Citgo has specific breaches they look for. We're talking about things like unregistered lease agreements, old development agreements that were never formally closed out, or maybe some extra units built within the base FSI. Clearing this up, this regularization process is a non-negotiable first step. You've got to establish a crystal-clear legal title. That's what safeguards your rights and guarantees that banks will smoothly fund your project later on.
And for total transparency, here is a number you absolutely need to know. 18,630 rupees. That is CIDCO's current reserve price per square meter in Koparkhairane. This specific figure acts as the baseline for calculating any extra lease premiums you might owe for using additional FSI. Knowing this upfront is absolutely crucial so your society can plan perfectly without being blindsided by sudden statutory fees down the line.
Plus, there is actually a fantastic regulation that works entirely in your favor. 10% of your net plot area has to be strictly dedicated to recreational open space, or ROS. So you're not just building concrete towers. You're guaranteeing beautiful, dedicated zones for relaxing, for kids to play, and for the whole community to get together.
Finally, Part 6, the Self-Redevelopment Action Plan. So how do we bring this concept to life? It boils down to 4 clear steps to bypass the developer Goliath entirely. First, clean up that CIDCO paperwork to clear the title. Second, bring in an architect who works solely for you, totally unbiased, to design the absolute best possible homes. Third, secure specialized self-redevelopment funding, which amazingly requires 0 out-of-pocket contributions from members. And fourth, you execute the construction. You act as the undisputed masters of your own project.
The path to a more spacious, significantly more valuable Kalash Udyan is literally right in your hands. You do not have to surrender your rights or your future to a developer. The blueprint is right here. So the only question left is, are you ready to take control and be the architect of your own future?